listening to the Marcus Harper podcast. This is the last segment. Some like to say the best segment. But again, you are listening to the Marcus Harper podcast. I am your humble host. Please pass the show for me. Word of mouth is what's going to make this thing grow. Advertisers, if you want to hit me up, email me. Email is the best way to contact me. Email address is mailbagmarcus, MARCUS, that's how you spell Marcus, @gmail.com. You can hit me up there. Telephone number to the show is 404-806-1416. Again, 404-806-1416. And if you don't hit me up there, you can always hop on Twitter. Twitter handle is @SplashBrother, all one word, case sensitive, capital S on Splash, capital B on Brother, @SplashBrother. SoundCloud. I know a lot of people get the business card out in the streets, so you have to find it on SoundCloud. Just go to SoundCloud.com. Get the SoundCloud app. That's another app you can get on your phone. Got music and different things out there. My show's free, so get it. Check out my show. You can usually, like I said, you can get to the link. If not, just search my name, Marcus Harper. I may not be the first person that pops up, but I'm there. Scroll, you'll see me. You'll see all of my podcasts out there. This is season 2, episode like 29, somewhere around there. But all the podcasts will be out there. Check out till the music drops. Check out the first 10, 15 minutes. Check out the last 10, 15 minutes. It's usually when I give you a quote of the week, things like that, some food for thought for you to take with you the rest of the week. And yeah, so let's get to it. All right. Baseball. Year of the Cubs. Again, this has been the year of the Cubs. We have covered one team and one team only, and that has been the Chicago Cubs. Again, it's now playoff time, the wild card game. Toronto just won the wild card game, so they will be facing Texas. That series begins Thursday. Wednesday, we get the NL wild card play-in game, whatever you want to call that, San Francisco versus New York. The winner of that will be facing the Cubs. That series will start Friday. It'll be Friday night, 8 o'clock game, Saturday night, 8 o'clock game, or late game, whatever. Don't quote me on that, but they're the late games on Friday and Saturday. Dodgers, Washington, that is the other series in the National League. That will also start Friday. The American League will be starting Thursday. National League will be starting Friday. I got to admit, with the game coming on, San Francisco versus New York, Blaine Gabbert versus Drew Stanton. Looks like that's going to be your quarterback matchup Thursday night. I'm probably going to be over on the baseball. If I only had to choose one, I'd be over on the baseball watching this AL. You get Indians, Red Sox first game. So yeah, I think I'd be in on that. David Ortiz for MVP. I told you I changed my mind for Mookie Betts. I'm allowed to do that, right? It's okay for me to change my mind because I did. I have changed my mind. Give me David Ortiz for MVP. Absolutely. Go look at his numbers, man. He had a great year. He put up some of his best numbers ever. Think about it like this. He doesn't even play. He doesn't play a lot when they go to these National League parks. So games he missed out on. And yeah, still ranked. He is absolutely the anchor, the left-handed bat in that lineup that makes everything in that lineup balance out. So yeah, props to David Ortiz. What a way to go out. Cubs fans, this is it, man. This is it. It is now here. I'm going to give you the first quote of the week. It comes from Joe Maddon. I love Joe Maddon. He's full of quotes. He's now even started putting them on T-shirts, which was genius. And he has one right now that says simple: embrace the target. And that's right, Cubs fans. You are the target. The stakes is high. Theo Epstein has made it abundantly clear. Everybody knows. We can't even fool around. Everybody knows. Everybody else can lose in these playoffs. But if y'all lose, Cubs fans, yes, that's how important this is. That's why Theo Epstein is all in. And like I said, if Theo Epstein and the Chicago Cubs pull this off, Theo Epstein will be the best baseball mind there ever's been. Yes. In my era, hands down. No debating. Theo, King Theo. I got the nickname lined up for you. Get it done. Get it done, Cubs fans, and we can talk about it. That's going to be an absolute party if the Cubs pull this off. But hey, man, the stakes is high. You haven't seen pressure like this. They had pressure coming into the season. I'm going to give Cubs their props. Had a lot of eyes on them coming into the season. And they jumped out the gate on everybody. Jumped out early and didn't look back. Now you're starting back over. Now you got to build that back up. So let's see who it is, how they handle this. All right, let's get to some randoms. Got some randoms for you. I'm not going to explain these. Just take them for what they are, and it is what it is. LSU random. LSU needs to hire Tom Herman. Period. Tom Herman is the coach of Houston. Take your time, LSU. Wait for the season to end. Don't do anything dumb. But just be patient. And once this season is over, pick up the phone and call Tom Herman. I believe you get Tom Herman. He's right there. I'm not explaining that. Pick up the phone, call Tom Herman. Indianapolis, the Colts, again. I'll save the Let me save that Indianapolis Colts. I've got a Beanie Siegel fact check. I'm going to get over to these podcasts. I'll save the Indianapolis Colts. Colts aren't going anywhere. I'll save that for next week. I wanted to talk about these podcasts. I always bother people, if you see me on Twitter, bother you about supporting podcasts. Absolutely support podcasts. Everybody listens to them now. They are the wave. Everybody's got a podcast. And some of these podcasts out here, some of these celebrities, some of these former celebrities, whatever you want to call them, A-list, B-list, whatever. Some of these people have they tell the wildest stories. It's like, hey, my run in Hollywood, my run on the scene is over. So now they are telling all these behind-the-scenes stories. They are absolutely gold. Ric Flair told one this week on the podcast. He said on his podcast, Ric Flair has his own podcast. The Nature Boy said, yes, Halle Berry has ridden Space Mountain. And for those of you that don't know what that means when it comes to Ric Flair, he used to refer to riding Space Mountain. You know what that is. I don't got to explain that. If you can't figure that out, it is what it is. So, yeah, he claims Halle Berry rode Space Mountain. I mentioned Beanie Siegel. I played Beanie Siegel as the intro. If you didn't hear him on the podcast, and I will post the podcast. I think the guy's name is Taxtone. I'll find it for you. I'll post it on my timeline. Beanie Siegel was addressing everything going on with Meek Mills, and he was fact-checking it. And I want you to check out the interview. You can fast forward about 20, 30 minutes in. But listen to him break that down, and then I'm going to give you the Indianapolis Colts facts check next week. So do that for me, and I got you with the Colts next year. Excuse me, next week. I got you with the Colts next week. I'll give you that next episode. Yeah, man, support these podcasts. Support independent podcasts. As you've seen, it's a real quick sidebar topic. As you've seen with podcasts becoming the wave, more and more of TV shows and big companies, right? They make sure they put everything out in podcasts because, yes, you are moving away from terrestrial TV, terrestrial radio, and they don't like this, fam. This is costing them. So that is why they flood you with, they take everything and they put it in a podcast. That's not a real podcast. Yeah. Check out these real live, real ninja podcasts out here for sure. For sure. Matter of fact, if you want to, make Thursday your podcast day. That's what, Thursday, your podcast day. If you don't catch my show Wednesday at noon when it runs, you can always flip it back on Thursday. Go to SoundCloud, come to my Twitter page, have it in my bio. I put it on my timeline constantly, so you can check it out there. All right, let's get over to the OG quote. I'll save everything else. The NBA is back. It looks like Ben Simmons may be done already. Broke his foot. He's going to need surgery. Foot is nothing to play with. So there's a rumor out there he may be done for the year. I wouldn't be surprised. You cannot play with anything, you know, ankles, different things like that, that's different. But the foot, you can't play with that, especially with big guys, especially with a guy that hasn't started yet. So let him get that right. Philly, it's unfortunate. I'll say that conversation for later. All right, so let's get over to the quote of the week. Again, I gave you one from Joe Maddon. Cubs fans, seriously, you put it on a T-shirt. Embrace the target. That's what you are. Sometimes, hey, you're either the hunter or the hunted sometimes in life. Sometimes you have to embrace being at the top of that mountain and being the team that everybody's gunning for. We're going to see that with the Warriors. They got to embrace the target. So, yeah, definitely a mantra, Cubs fans. There's more to that in the playoffs. Talking to an old head in the barbershop is always dropping gems. And I wanted to bring you this one, and then I'll give you the Bruce Arians quote and then get out of here. But he was talking about responsibility and accountability. I'll give you little notes and stuff like that. And he said, become an adult, really become grown. He said, you'll start doing little things like this. And this is the quote I wrote down. I was like, man, I got to keep this one. He said, take responsibility for every area of your life. And that is absolutely true. Take responsibility for every area of your life. And he also said, hey, man, be there when people need you. And that one sometimes is hard to do for some folks. But, yeah, man, be there for the ones you care about. Be there when they need you, man. Be there when people need you. The shoe's going to be on the other foot at some point. So be there when people need you. That is real rap. Yeah, man, those two. Take responsibility for every area of your life and be there when people need you, man. I cannot stress that enough. And then the last quote, it comes from Bruce Arians, Coach Bruce Arians. I want to put to bed this DVD. I feel like the Arizona Cardinals are still watching that DVD from last year, their whole All In, where they followed them all year long. This is one we can all follow. This is one Bruce Arians brought to this team. It's 10 words. It's 10 two-letter words. And it's real simple. It goes like this. If it is to be, it is up to me. Period. Those are it. Bruce Arians, if it is to be, it is up to me. All right, that's it. All right, let's get out of here. I want to say thank you to my mother. I want to say thank you to my father. I want to say thank you to my brothers. Appreciate y'all. Thank you to my nephew and niece, my pride and joy. I love y'all. I want to thank shouts out to my Morehouse bros, the Penthouse, the Fab Five. We are all we got for sure. I want to shout out the West Coast family. You know who you are. I want to shout out Dex, the super producer. Appreciate you, brother. I want to shout out all my family in the great Northwest. Thank you. Love y'all. I want to shout out everybody in every city, LA, New York, DC, Philly, Florida, the state of Florida. I'll say the city of Florida. State of Florida. All my folks in Georgia. Thank you for listening. Pass the show for me. Again, word of mouth is what's going to make this show grow. This is the Thinking Man Show. When you pass it to them, tell them, hey, this is the Thinking Man Show. Not man, not woman, human. For sure. All right? We will be back next week to do it again. Health, wealth, love, peace, and happiness. That is all I got for you. We will be back next week. Thank you for listening. You have been listening to the Marcus Harper Podcast. I am your humble host, Marcus Harper. Life is good. One. Take me in your arms real tight. The morning light is coming. In the afterglow beneath the twilight, I'll come running. I go.